Welcome back to our Italian citizenship FAQs. I'm Melanie Holtz, owner of Schiavo Genealogica. For this video, we're going to talk about what kind of documentation you need for your Italian citizenship application. In general, most people will be applying at a consulate, and consulates need birth, marriage, divorce, and often death certificates for direct line ancestors. They need proof of naturalization or no naturalization for the immigrant. Sometimes they will require the federal census after the birth of the child that you descend from. And some consulates will want to see birth and or death certificates for spouses of direct line ascendants, as well as your spouse, if you have one. For 1948 cases that are going before the court, it will depend on the judge that you get, but normally I gather birth and marriage records when it's a 1948 case, as well as the proof of naturalization for each generation, leading from the immigrant to yourself. And if you're applying on site in Italy, you need everything that I mentioned above except for death certificates. The only time you would need that death certificate would be if the immigrant ancestor lived and died right around the time that Italy became a country, because he had to have died after Italy became a country, because it wasn't a country before then, and therefore no citizenship was eligible to be passed before that. Are there Can anyone order documents, order vital records, naturalization records? Normally with vital records, state law in the United States will determine who in the family can order documents. Oftentimes, if there's no one, say, state law says that the grandchild can order a document, but all the grandchildren are deceased, there are often ways to present the death certificate and say, basically stating, I have the right to this information because everyone's deceased. And some states have put in place actually Italian or dual citizenship kind of like pedigree charts, so to show the line of descent and additional information for you to submit with your vital records applications. Do you need, if you have a living parent that's part of your direct line ascent to the immigrant, do you need their approval for you to get your citizenship application? This is a question I get quite often because not every family talks to each other. There are estranged families, and so this is of concern. And in general, yes, you do need their approval because you do need their signature on a form that you have to submit to the consulate at the end of the process. But that said, in instances of estrangement, I have asked the consulate before, and they have told me to basically take that form and attach to it a note stating, we are estranged, I have no idea where to find him, whatever the situation is. And they have never not approved an application because of just that point. Another question I get is, how does adoption affect the right to Italian citizenship? Now, adoption out of your Italian family or adoption into an Italian family, you can still get citizenship, but you have to be able to provide the appropriate documentation. And this is where people get hung up, because there are many states that are still have closed adoptions. So trying to get the before birth certificate, the after birth certificate, a legal copy of the adoption, all of that is needed. When you would be submitting your application, in addition to all the documents on the ancestors. So while it's possible, it's also complicated and perhaps needs a court case to get documents released. And what about foster children? Many people do have foster children or stepchildren. Legally, they don't have any right to citizenship through you unless you adopt them. All right, well, that's all I had for this one. Stay tuned. There will be more upcoming. And let us know if you're enjoying these and if there's any questions you want us to answer. And don't forget to subscribe to YouTube. Thank you. Bye-bye.